welcome to Shadow Powered Astrology. I'm your host, Chase Petiche, psycho-spiritual consultant and witchy bitch, and I'm here to give a astro forecast for the new moon in Capricorn on January 12th. So, what a shit show 2021 has been. Man, you know, I can't say that I'm all that surprised though, because the astrology of this time has been really intense. And if you saw the actual chart, you would see that there's this massive amount of energy that has been working through Capricorn this year. I mean, it's been so many planets in Capricorn this year. It's been including Saturn and Pluto conjunct, which I've talked about on a lot of my other series, which is basically this energy of the annihilation of our systems, you know, because it's all in Capricorn. Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. And then you have Pluto up in the mix, which is the annihilator, the death and rebirth, right? The most powerful, it's like the energy of the atom bomb. It's like this explosion, this deep shifting, right? Which is essentially what has been happening all year long in our entire world, right? And all of it has been happening through the sign of Capricorn. And so what is happening on the 12th, the new moon on the 12th, when I looked at it, I was like, okay, golly, here we go. Because what's happening is, you know, since the Age of Aquarius has occurred and the Saturn has moved out of Capricorn and it's conjunct at 0 degrees in Aquarius, everything is moving into Aquarius, the sign after Capricorn. So all these planets are starting to move out of Capricorn and into Aquarius. What we have left, which is incredibly potent and powerful, is on the 12th, you know, a new moon is when the sun and the moon are in conjunction. And the sun and the moon in astrology, really, you know, we feel those the most, right? We see those every single day, right? And in our charts, those are what affect us. Those are what dictate and affect our personality, how the world views us. So those are very, very, very personal planets, right? So the sun and the moon are going to be conjunct on the 12th. Guess what's going to be conjunct them? Guess what's going to be right next to them, 1 degree apart? Pluto. Okay, so I've been talking about Pluto. I've talked a lot about it this year. It's the energy, the deepest, most primordial, powerful, regenerative energy of the universe. It rules the void. It rules death. It rules birth. It rules the energy in between death and birth. It rules where we go. It rules the absolute, you know, it rules obsession and it rules release. It rules attachment and it rules freedom. Ultimately, Pluto, wherever it is in our charts, it's really to bring about, you know, because everything I'm about is like the deep subconscious, right? Our own internal spiritual selves. How can we use astrology to actually affect ourselves? Because it does. It helps us look at the world, but then we take it to the micro and we say, okay, how is this actually affecting myself? And so what I really believe is happening with Pluto this close to those planets is it's affecting deeply us on a deeply, I call it the tipping point. This is the absolute tipping point because we've gone through all of this stuff in Capricorn. And then now at this very, very, very end where we have, you know, it's like the synchronicity and the movements and the flow and the rhythm of this, it couldn't be any more, you know, musical. It couldn't be any more perfect. And, you know, with the dawning of the Age of Aquarius, with the release of Donald Trump as president and this kind of new energy that's coming in for the entire world, the vaccine coming, you know, all these different things that are starting to happen, it's giving us the opportunity to really, really go inward and kind of ask yourself, you know, it's not even going to actually, you can ask yourself, but you're also just going to be forced to reconcile with the places within yourself that are not working anymore. The types of, you know, it's about breaking out of psychological bonds that have inhibited our spiritual growth. So what's happening is we're starting to become conscious of our own evolution, conscious of our thoughts, the thoughts that we think, conscious of our actions. You know, Capricorn traditionally is this sign that rules, ambition, the father, responsibility, bureaucracy, and at its highest, it kind of rules integrity, and I have a lot of views on integrity, especially now that we're coming into the era of paradox, the era of Aquarius, the era of the divine feminine, because traditionally integrity has been something that is very, very connected to like the Puritan Protestant work ethic, which is like abiding by certain moral values, those moral values being attributed to, patriarchal, hierarchical, male-dominated God, figures. White male supremacy order. And now, so integrity was really like, the definitions of integrity that we've kind of known have been like, if you say you're going to do something, you do it no matter what, like being somebody who's dependable, right? These ideas of somebody out in society abiding by God's law, right? That you need this another thing where we need this external source to live our lives by, because we cannot be trusted through our own internal knowing, through our own internal sense of spiritual connection to something higher that is out of individually ours and ours alone. And what I think in this new era that we're coming into, this idea of integrity is really going to be about attuning to your own internal rhythm, your own internal connection, your own spirit source guidance that is yours and yours alone. That is the era we are coming into. This is the true annihilation, the true death of this idea that anything, structure, system, discipline, school, person, outside of ourselves has the answers. That it's actually all that we need to listen to them, God, religions, systems, all of this. This is the final push of Pluto through this Capricornian energy, and it's conjunct our moon and our sun, okay? And so that means we are going to be feeling this. We are going to be feeling it on such a deep personal level. And what it's asking us and begging us to do is it's begging us to go inside and really begin to attune to what our own sense of integrity is. And what I believe the modern Age of Aquarian feminine definition of integrity is does my external actions, is the way that I am presenting myself out in the world through my career, how I, engage with my friends and family, who I present myself to be, does that actually reflect the truth of my own soul? And if there is a discrepancy there, if there is a part of you that is not actually reflecting and you're still doing things out of should in order to keep up with the status quo is dead, baby. The status quo ain't no mo. And we're starting to realize that, right? We're starting to realize that the status quo, we've been panicking because we don't know what's our asses from our heads anymore. We don't know what's up, what's down. We don't know who to look to, right? The majority, a lot of people are looking to the news. The news is in like a disarray and panic. Nobody knows anything. So the only thing we actually have, and this is the final push of Pluto, this is the tipping point, is to look within, y'all. And this in itself can cause a crisis if you're like, I never looked within, I don't know what's in there, and I'm scared to know what's in there because if I start following it, I'm going to actually have to see that like all my decisions and the way that I'm living my life is actually not in alignment at all, and I'm incredibly unhappy, right? Or it could be something like, if I start paying attention to my internal self, what I actually feel, what my intuition is telling me, that means I'm going to have to actually start making some decisions that are going to be really scary, right? And yes, to both of those things and to all of it. Check. You're going to have to start making hard decisions. Life, if we want to be empowered, and that's what Pluto is all about. If we want to be empowered, if we want to be aligned, if we want to be the midwives of this new era, if we want to be, I love having, when I let lipstick on my teeth, I always get that. If we want to be the spiritual, midwives of this new era, the people that are helping to assist, to guide, to bring in, we got to begin to embody this energy, which means we have to start to allow ourselves to follow what we feel is right. Our intuition is what we feel. It's the guidance that we feel. And I don't know about you, because I'm somebody who is really intuitive, like, and I have in my entire life. Like, I'm the kind of person that's like, I'll just tell somebody something about their life. And they're like, how did you know that? I mean, this was happening to me when I was like 7, I was like counseling my mom's friends, but I lately, at this point in my life, I am like so intuitive. Like, I feel like my psychic skills are just like ding, because I am so aware when I am, the reason is because I've become so aware anytime I decide not to follow my intuition. And it's like really silly stuff. Like literally, it's literally like driving, there's a light that I can go down that I can either make a left or go straight to get to my house. And I always play this game with myself. I'm like, I know my higher guidance knows, like, go left this time, go straight this time. Cause it's like whether or not which one's going to be green. And I'll notice my own internal struggle. Like, I'm getting guided which way to go, but for some reason, my personality, usually it's some sort of fear, or reason that fights it. And so I end up, like, the other day, I was like, I'm not going to follow that feeling. And I ended up waiting at the light. Both of them were blocked. And I ended up waiting at the light for like 5 minutes. It was such a moment for me of like, it's just getting clearer and clearer and clearer what I need to follow. And that's really the flow, you guys. That's when you're in the flow. And that is integrity. That is the ultimate essence of integrity. There is nothing that has more integrity than being in alignment when your internal self is expressing itself fully in the external world. Because that is what integrity means. Integrity is about becoming whole, becoming complete, right? And what happens when we have a large shadow, when we have a part of ourselves that we're hiding from ourselves, from the world, is there's this part of ourselves that we're not showing to the world. We're hiding it. And that's where all of our power is. And when we hide it for whatever reasons, we feel unworthy, we've been taught to, we're afraid to expose our true selves. For whatever reasons, we're afraid of our families and friends, of how they're going to react to us. For whatever reasons, what ends up happening is we become extremely resentful. We start hating other people that are doing the thing that we want to do, and we haven't allowed ourselves to do. And all the finger pointing of the entire world that's been going on for the entirety of 2020, this crazy amount of finger pointing, and all of the wars of all of humanity have been finger pointing. You, no, 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 I'm right, no, I'm right, no, you're wrong, no, I'm right, no, you're right, no, I'm wrong, right? You guys, we're in a new time, and we're hitting a tipping point. The Pluto, Sun, Moon conjunction in Capricorn, it's pushing because the sun and the moon, they're going to be leaving Capricorn. The only 2 planets that are going to be left in Capricorn, and there's been like 7 planets in Capricorn. It's like at one point during this entire season. It's an insane amount of like energy that has been scrubbing and retrograding and going back and forth and back and forth. The sign of the patriarch, the sign of the parent, the father, the bureaucrat, right? And now Pluto is making its final push. This is the tipping point. Okay, this is the tipping point. So this is the time to ask yourselves, really, like, what am I just freaking done with? What am I just done with? For me, I feel like I've been having my own kind of breakthroughs lately, and I've had like just certain ways and within myself that I'm just kind of done with. And I imagine you guys are all going through something similar, because generally what I'm going through, everybody else is going through too. And it's really what it comes down to, this idea of security and worth and these external sources, these fathers, right? Ultimately, really, it comes down to like male figures having the power, the feminine feeling that it needs its support from them. It doesn't know how to live on its own. It doesn't know how to breathe on its own without that security. And now that energy, this is all archetypal energy. I'm not talking about masculine and feminine. It ends up being masculine and feminine. But now all that energy is like literally destroying itself, becoming destroyed. The feminine is free to create. This is a time of unique individuality, freedom, vision and visionary energy. This is a time to really reconceptualize yourself, to allow the witch, to allow the intuitive, to come out of the closet, to begin to align yourself with your internal own sense of intuition, allowing that to be guiding you in your life. So, Capricorn is ruled, it's ruled by the mountain goat. Its whole idea is, that it's climbing this mountain. It rules ambition. It rules, how we present ourselves out in the world, discipline and work ethic, and for the sake of it to kind of, be at the top, really, And, this is a really good time to ask yourself. And I literally climbed a mountain today, and I was thinking about this the whole time. And I was thinking about this new moon, and I was thinking about what mountain am I climbing? This is a really good time to ask yourself, what mountain are you climbing? Because we're all climbing some mountain. We're all working at something. We're all working towards something, right? And who is it for? Who is this mountain benefiting? What am I putting all this energy into? And who is it for? Is it actually benefiting me? Is it actually benefiting my higher self, my soul, my soul's calling, what I've come here to do on this planet? Does it fulfill me? Does it satisfy me? If it does, hell yes. Hell yes. If it doesn't, it's time to start thinking about this. It's time to really start to reconcile, because this is a beautiful, it's going to happen anyway, okay? Because the Pluto, when we're not totally, it causes crisis no matter what. But if we're in alignment with Pluto and we're open to its energies of change and ultimate death, rebirth energy, we can surrender to it and allow it to change us. It's only when we're holding on really tight and we're like, no, I don't want this to change. I think that this way is really the best way for me, and I'm going to hold on as hard as I can. And then that's when accidents happen. That's when breaks happen. That's when we go crazy. That's when, you drink a lot of wine and you lose your mind. You know what I mean? So, asking yourself, what mountain am I climbing? Who is it for? Is it serving my soul? And does it align with my intuition? Does it align with my inner guidance? Because your intuition, integral. Intuition is integrity. It is integral. And it is God flowing through you, the divine spirit, source, the flow. It is how the creative energy of this universe works through you. It works through your intuition. And that is the creative impulse of the universe working through you. So, it also is it directs us. It guides us. It gives us that inner feeling, that inner nudge when something is not right. But we have been so trained in this culture to train ourselves out of that, to have to rationally explain every single choice we make and to disregard our own inner knowing, that we have lost. This is why we have such a culture of soul, of soul detachment, because our head is detached from our soul. It's detached from our higher guidance. And that's why we become numb and we've become like computers. So this is the recalibration and the reintegration of the soul and the spirit with the personality, with the mind. And they're all in unity and they're integral and they're all serving each other. And that is going to bring about the most powerful, lasting, peaceful, evolutionary, visionary energy of the planet. This is the Age of Aquarius. This is when we start looking inward and we start allowing ourselves. We give back to ourselves. We're not serving this system, this God, this white patriarchal old school order. Nah, all that's out the window. It's all about us. It's all about our internal guidance system and where we feel to be called in this lifetime. So we are at a tipping point of power and visionary energy. And this month is intense, you guys, but man, we are like pushing the baby out. All right. This is like the last push. It's the tipping point. It's when the baby's finally like, brah, I'm coming out now. Right? We've been in labor for like 20, however long, many months, 12. I feel like we've been in labor for a long time. We've been in labor for a long time, pushing out this new world. And now it's coming. So I hope that helps you guys. I love you dearly. And if you have any questions, info@chaseboutique.com. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I love you all. Have a wonderful week. Happy new moon.